Today I've created a 5x7 scene card for Honeybee Stamps YouTube video hop. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. Honeybee Stamps is going to be giving away two $50 gift cards drawn from the comments that you guys leave below down in the comment section on all of the YouTube videos for their Pet-tastic release. My card today is a 5x7 scene card. This is a very color heavy. There's a lot of coloring, but I promise you this card turns out so super cute. So definitely hang on for all the coloring because these little images just come to life. I am using Copic markers for my coloring, so those are alcohol ink markers. And I'm going to create 3 different sections on my 5x7 card that are almost like 3 separate little scenes. I'm going to have 3 sentiments on here. I love the layout. It turned out so good. I obviously will be using the coordinating dies for this. This stamp set is called Doggone Amazing. And I love these little images. I think I used almost every single image, if not every single. No, I think there's at least one more little puppy I did not use, but I am coloring my puppies in 2 different colors. We have just kind of a regular brown and then a gray brown. I didn't show you coloring all 4 because, you know, a couple of them were the same as the others. Then we have the buckets here. I decided to go with wooden buckets. I originally thought, oh, maybe I'll use like make silver buckets, but I thought, no, I'm going to go with the wooden buckets. So like I do for pretty much all of my coloring, the same thing I did for these cute little puppies is I start with my dark area, which is my shadow. I'm going to lay my shadow area down, and then I use a medium color to kind of blend, and I leave a lighter area, and then I come in with my lightest color, and then kind of blend over the area that's left uncolored. I usually end up going back over everything twice depending on the image, but I usually always definitely come back in with a darker color and create more of that shadow area because it does blend out. Those buckets I did not need to do that with, and I left those very streaky on purpose because I want it to look like wood grain. Then I'm going to use some turquoise for my butterflies, and I have the caps lifting up so you guys can, or facing up, so you guys can see all of the colors that I'm using. If you need to slow down the video, you can do that through your YouTube channel where you're watching. You can slow everything down if you want to watch my coloring in a slower pace. I'm using a couple different pinks and yellow for the flowers. A couple of the butterflies, I'm doing kind of a pink and turquoise, which will give us a little bit of a purple. Green for the grass, of course. I'm doing some bluebirds. I have 3 birds here that I'm going to color. I'm coloring extra underneath there. Not that you're going to see it, but sometimes the way the die cuts cut, it ends up sometimes leaving a white area, so I like to kind of think ahead and just add some green under there. We have cute little sprigs of grass, a couple little tufts of flowers. I just love all of these cute little images. I think they're so darling. And we are going to do a red wagon. I love that pop of red. And of course you have to. I mean, to me, it's just kind of a given. You have to have a little red wagon. Let's finish coloring the flowers with this cute puppy and bucket with the flowers. I have the bucket that's standing alone, the puppy that's kind of standing on its hind legs, and the other little puppy sitting there. I'm going to create a scene with those guys plus some flowers and a bird and some butterflies. So I'm going to create a 3rd complete scene with those guys, kind of like the other 2 images here. Now, when I am coloring my red wagon, my color combination that I normally use for my reds, 2 of my markers were dry. So I had to come in with another color combination. I had to figure out a few colors. I ended up loving it. So I'm going to be kind of messing with that here in just a minute. I am going to use a darker sea color for the tires Then I'm going to use a lighter C marker or 2 lighter C markers for the handles of the wagon, or the handle of the wagon, excuse me, because I want that to look like it's metal. I also want to remind everyone again to leave a comment down in the description when you hop along to all the videos. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the channel and to everyone else's channels, but you want to be eligible for one of the 2 $50 gift cards that Honeybee Stamps is giving away. They're always so generous. So leave a comment, that way they can that way they are able to pick a winner. Now here is this cute red wagon, and here are some of the colors that I'm messing with. I definitely wanted to go really dark, so I had to grab a couple of like darker red markers because it was just a little too orangey red for me. I wanted it to have a really good shadow area and then a very good light area. So I went over this a few times. The parts of the wheels, the rims, I guess, I started that off with my markers that I normally go with that are dry. So I had to kind of go back over them a few times. My gosh, I can't talk, you guys, to make them look like the wagon themselves. And so that turned out really nicely. Then I used the coordinating dies to die cut those out. Here's my 5x7 panel, and like I mentioned, I am going to break this up into 3 areas on my card. So I'm using some mint tape, it's low tack tape. I'm ink blending with Bundled Sage Distress Oxide ink, and I'm also going to splatter it a little bit. Then I moved tape down, and how I measured this is I just laid down my images that I'm going to have in those sections, so that's kind of how wide it's going to be, but they are going to overlap each other, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a little bit. So a little more ink blending down at the lower part. I want to keep the top part white still in each section. Then here is that bottom section. I'm going to ink blend one more time. Obviously I did not need any tape, and then I'm going to splatter again, because I'm loving my splatter, and that just adds a little something extra to the background. Now I'm going to lay out my images because I want to be able to stamp my sentiments directly to the background. There is coordinating dies for the sentiments, but I only wanted my little critter images, my little puppy images, to be die cut out. So I'm going to stamp these directly on the background. And I'm going to use black ink for that. The top sentiment says, hoping you have a doggone amazing day. You are positively the best. And then the bottom one says, sending puppy kisses and birthday wishes. And I just think it turned out so cute. And I definitely needed to re-ink my ink pad, which I did after stamping all of my sentiments. Now I'm going to add 1mm foam adhesive behind most of my images. And as you can see, I'm going to line that one up where that line is that we taped off, but you can also see some of the flowers in the bucket go down below my line. I actually really like that. Then this piece here where the puppy is in the wagon, that is going to overlap the bottom and the top little section that I created. But I love that because it kind of pulls everything together. This little puppy, when you die cut it, die cuts around its little paws. So his little paws are over the edge of the bucket. I think that is so perfect. And then this little puppy is going to have his paws up on the bucket as well, checking out what that puppy's doing. And we're going to add some butterflies around these guys. I also colored 2 other birds and those other little bits of grass and flowers. So we're going to add that down at the bottom, because remember, we're creating a scene out of these images down here, where the other 2 scenes were already created as a little scene. So let's do a little bit of the grass and flowers behind the puppy. I have some and some grass by the bucket. I am going to pop that bird up with a little bit of foam adhesive. That bird I'm going to put on the top piece. He's standing on the bucket. And then we've got some butterflies. That butterfly is going to go there by those flowers. And then I'm going to add those 2 butterflies down here at the bottom. But again, they're part of the bottom scene, but overlapping that middle scene. I think it's so cute. Now I'm going to bring in my white gel pen. I'm only going to add highlights to the wagon. I really thought about adding them to my little puppies, and I do that kind of thing with critters all the time, but I just felt like they were perfect without doing it. So I'm just adding that to the wagon, and we can take a look up close here in just a second and take a look at how cute this card turned out. This will be on a 5x7 white card base. But look at those little images. Those puppies are so cute. I love all the flowers, the buckets, the birds, the butterflies. And I love that this fit on a 5x7 card perfectly, and that you have so many little scenes in this whole stamp set. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you feel inspired by this project. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.